Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. And this is a continuation from the victims of Mutahar Usmani. Reaching out to them is tough. And I cannot describe to you how tough it is. It's near to impossible. And not even near to impossible, but there are people we have lost. Her victims have had cancer, have gone half insane so that we would not be able to tell. And we will see the part of their sanity and say, why can't she help herself? Why isn't she helping herself? Why doesn't she see the truth about Mutahar Usmani? So reaching out to these victims could be too late, and it has been too late because I have seen it. Shabir Usmani was following Ahmad uncle, Fairy auntie's husband. I wouldn't say ex-husband because Fairy auntie is under the spell of Mutahar Usmani and Mutahar Usmani's black magic. Like I wouldn't say that Shabir Usmani is married to Mutahar Usmani because the marriage is null and void. If it can be proven, and I know that the truth I know, this marriage was on bribery and deception, breach of trust on the family members. She had used my enemies to get married and then to make money, and oh yes, and her jinn said to travel around the world. So according to my Islam and the codes that we should follow, Mutahar Usmani and Shabir Usmani's marriage is null and void, and their children are haram. And you may ask, as I am asking, how far is the reach of these enemies of mine with the Gulf Air crash in 1983? Such a, how shall I say, a spy would have been working, such workings of these enemies of mine. So how far is their reach? They seem to be terrorists, drug smugglers, sex traffickers, and about such people, I can say one of them joined them in 1982, and she was an aunt of mine. I disown her, Mutahar Usmani. So with such people, there is no reminder or giving of discourses. If you can find a way criminally to make your own house and break your sister's house, you can definitely find a way to reform yourself and help yourself. We would say it's easier for the evil people to do evil, and it's hard for the good people to be good and do right. But in this failure of trying to be good, time passes, and the only consolation is although we failed, we didn't betray someone, and we kept trying to be good. And if we are falling now, or the fallen, with this fallen's message, perhaps someone could get insight, inspiration, or a consolation that you're not alone. I am too. And about Mutahar Usmani type people, well, they can cry about what they're doing, the bad that they're spreading, and the damage that they have done to homes. But be sure they will go on. They know it. They are the accursed. They are cursing themselves inside. But outside they're showing that they're praying and reciting the Holy Scriptures, the Quran. So now I gather that the people who helped Mutahar Usmani, my enemies, have a very far reach. As for the evidence that I have through inference and the way Mutahar Usmani deceived me and her sister's house, knowing that we are from United Arab Emirates, so who could be her backing but a terrorist? And so I can tell you the way they work is too amazing. And these terrorists know who to pick from which family. They have such a deep sight. So who to target and who to take on their side. Let me tell you, this has been planned for a long time ago. So this is like who will sell their religion, their values, everything. And they have covered their losses pretty well. In fact, I would say completely. But one thing they couldn't cover was that Mutahar Usmani had to scare us and had to be in my room to call her jinns, evil spirits, and she wouldn't budge from my room. She was told to stay in my room for more than a month, and as I was told much later in London, that the witch is sending evil spirits on you, whereupon later I realized that the evil spirits Mutahar had called in my room were actually meant to scare me and make me miss my school and break me, mocking at the prayers, reciting Surah Fatiha 70 times in Arabic and 70 times in our own language translation. They would leave but come back the next night in the morning, 3 a.m. So these are really high-class hypocrites who would sell their religion, their mothers, for their own gain, and wouldn't stop at anything unless they are forcefully stopped. However, now it's too late for some of us to be saved, because even their sorcery is one of a kind, and I've seen people go insane and suffer immensely. I've seen my own mother and myself experienced how this sufferance they put you in through sorcery can get unbearable and go into a kind of madness that no one can tell, and give us many psychological problems. We can be praying in prostration or on the roof, doing communion with God, or meditating, soul searching, and in the end what we get is madness and trying but failing. So this is another reason why I'm sending out this message. And I didn't want anyone to suffer like we have, and to think of even worse. I suffer immensely. It's too unbearable for me. And what I've seen is enough. However, what's been happening around the world is beyond my comprehension, and it's too unbearable to take. I can go on giving prayer liturgies here. May we, with every breath we take, feel heaven. No, feel God and be God realized. And but this is what I had done while I was studying in St. Joseph's College. 1991 or 92, I had started going on the roof, thanking God, looking at His Qudrat, nature, natural phenomena, the stars, the endless skies, without any pillars, as we can see. So this is mentioned in the Quran. Your contemplations, reflections, your thoughts would get tired upon the glories of God's creations and His bounties. And I can go on praying like I prayed for my principal, her family members, and the whole of humanity being happy, heavenly, in perfect health, and then give myself a shock seeing a plastered arm